Hi guys, today is March 9th, 2020, and not a good morning for the stock markets as market is set to fall just about 1300 points, or about 5% or over 5%. So two things that basically pressuring the markets. So first of all, the continuing coronavirus fears, and Italy basically quarantining a quarter of its population, and a lot more cases in the United States. However, there are good news on the China front. Is China's infection cases and new cases has actually slowed down recently, so that's good news, and a lot of things are restarting in China. But the second thing is that OPEC, which is Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, represented by Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Venezuela, and so on, and did not agree with the non-OPEC member, which is Russia, actually, and on how much oil cuts they were going to make in the next few months, or the next 6 months. Okay, so, and that resulted in in the price war, pretty much, as Saudi decided to punish Russia for being such a stubborn partner, and they decided to actually cut prices for their customers and produce more oil at the time when they actually needed cuts. So oil is down about 25% at the open, and that's bad news for banks, because banks are lending to oil companies, and the oil companies will be in a cash crunch, pretty much. So jumping into stocks, let's start with S&P 500. S&P 500 is trading obviously lower, and I was watching the 285 level for SPY, and this is going through this level at the open, but remember, this has to close below that level. So the next level after that I'm watching is 273 level. Okay, this level was set sometime in 2019 in May, and let's see if this could go through that level, and but hopefully it can this could bounce a little bit, because I'm having a hard time to believe that this will not bounce at all. So Fed is stepping up the liquidity. They said that they will offer a lot more money for overnight lending to banks, and I'm sure they will do not even 50 basis point cut next meeting, but 75 basis point cut next meeting on their Fed funds rate. So this is a critical time right now at this point, and markets are panicking. Treasuries yields are at all-time low. I actually haven't seen a move such as this probably ever. That the treasury yields, 10-year treasury, are at like 0.38%. That's a little bit crazy and too fast to me. Okay, so in this environment, I'm not even going to go through stocks that are in the news. I think it's good to own some pharma companies, big pharma companies. Actually, they had a meeting with President Trump, and the companies that were vilified recently, only like 3-6 months ago by President Trump, now they're heroes. So I like big pharma companies, especially those that are handling this coronavirus outbreak. Let's start with Gilead Pharmaceuticals, Gilead Sciences. And Gilead actually was downgraded this morning by RBC Capital, and it was downgraded to outperform from top pick. Okay, and the stock is trading a little bit lower, and I think it's not a bad time to get into Gilead because their remdesivir vaccine that handles coronavirus is actually the closest vaccine, from what I know, to like phase 3 trials, for example, to be tested for phase 3 trials. So if you can get in the mid 70s into Gilead, that would be a good pickup in my opinion. Other companies that's handling coronavirus, big pharma companies, are J&J. Excuse me. J&J is opening a lot lower, and this is a good company to own in this environment. Sanofi, SNY, also is a pretty good company to own in this environment. Okay, Merck is a pretty good company to own. Here it's opening a little bit lower, and there I know they have a force that a group of scientists that trying to come up with the coronavirus vaccine, BFE, which is Pfizer, and I also like Medtronic, which is a medical device company, and I like AbbVie on this sell-off. Okay, so AbbVie is opening a lot lower. They will pay a huge dividend at these prices, like 6.5% dividend. It's a good company to own at this point. Okay, so also if you consider that we're gonna work at home a lot more, we will need a bigger infrastructure, a larger data centers, and that will require a lot of infrastructure investment, memory, and so on. So companies such as AMD, Intel, NVIDIA, they will all benefit from this expansion, and these companies will be falling today, and I think it's pretty good. You can find a really bargain prices for these companies. Like for example, NVIDIA is opening at $240. That's really a good price for NVIDIA. Okay, in general, a lot of bargains this morning you can find, but who knows if it's bargains or not. The end, it will be we'll see if this is actually if this is actually a good time to buy. But I think, in my opinion, it is for some companies. But for some, like for example banks, I'm not touching banks. For example, I'm not touching leisure. I'm not touching travel and hotel. That's not the places to be in. Okay, so actually this oil drop, a huge oil drop, is beneficial to airlines, believe it or not, and because especially those airlines who are not hedging oil, such as American Airlines. Well, they're hedging oils, but not as much as others. American Airlines, UAL. So if they drop too much, I think this is not a bad time to pick up those companies. And Delta Airlines, this could be also a bargain to pick up those companies. And also I'm watching the companies that are stay-at-home companies like Twitter, Facebook, Netflix, Zoom Video, ZM. Okay, these companies could be a really good place to hide in this market. And I have noticed that Microsoft is basically trading at $150. That's really low for Microsoft. I think if this even drops under 150, I think I'm gonna just pick up Microsoft under $150. That's a really good price. And I'm watching my three horses, like INO. INO is opening a lot higher. Inovio Pharmaceuticals. I still have a position in INO, and I don't know, it's too high to me, and I'll be looking to probably just put a sell order at $18 for INO. And Moderna is actually still pretty cheap, looks like to me. I mean, I would love it to buy under $30, but it's opening over $30, but it still looks pretty cheap to me. And Vir Biotechnology is opening a lot higher, and it's a little bit too expensive to me. Alright guys, that's the wrap for the day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and I'll see you tomorrow.